son. Where'd you find this?
Let's go.
Welcome to the Life of Phys Podcast. I'm your host, Tyson Martin. On this episode, I have Larry Everage. Larry is influenced by a family of avid photographers. He is also a lifelong resident of New Orleans, and his ties to New Orleans are strong, and it is displayed in his photography. He has been recognized for his photography by winning both the NOLA Millennial and Dillard University 40 Under 40 Award. Also in 2024, two of his images were selected to be parts of the exhibit Seeing Black and its accompanying book. His work is also part of the New Orleans African American Museum's permanent collection. Now let's hear a word from our podcast sponsor and get to the show. The Life of Phys Podcast is lit by Harlow. Harlow is on a mission to empower creators to elevate their creativity with lighting kits made to last and built to inspire. These lights are bold, beautiful, and powerful because Harlow believes that your lights deserve to be seen. To learn more, follow them on Instagram at Harlow Creators or online at www.harlow.com, and don't forget to use our discount code Tyson10 to save 10% on your order.
Hey, I'm Larry Everage, photographer, filmmaker from New Orleans, Louisiana. And I say I've been taking pictures pretty much one way or the other my whole life, probably started around age 5.
Nice. Did you have family that was really into photography?
Oh yeah, I had like pretty much my whole mom's side of the family. Even my dad always had like the heavy in the 80s, a heavy VHS camera over the shoulder.
Nice.
It was great. Yeah, he still has the tapes too. But on my mom's side, like my aunt, she pretty much like was, I think, the first photographer of the family. She taught yearbook in high school for years. So I kind of picked it up from her. My mom, she takes pictures. Both of my uncles are photographers. One of them's a filmmaker who I study under. So I've been around cameras my whole life. So guess you could say I'm destined to do this.
That's incredible. So we met on, I believe it was Threads. We just started going back and forth and realized that we have a lot in common. And, we were just talking prior to the show about our love for WWE and our love for 90s hip hop and skateboarding and all that fun stuff. Well, just recently I saw you had, heck, you had the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm
still there.
On sleep. Yeah, I was in the trenches.
What was that experience like? Let people know, one, what it was like when you first got you first knew that you were going to go in and be on the ground at the Super Bowl, what it was like actually being at the Super Bowl, and then what you're feeling now now that it's over.
Yeah, so a little bit of backstory, like kind of like I say, I've been taking pictures on and off since I was 5, like traveling, going on vacation. I had the little Mickey Mouse disposable camera, film camera. That's why I learned how to shoot. And I got to college, majored in mass comm, decided to go into the broadcast news world. So I worked in news from my senior year in college up until 2 years ago. And then I decided to take a job at the tourism agency for the city. So I've been there for the last 2 years. And that's how that's how I got on with the Super Bowl, because I was on the host committee for the Super Bowl, on the media host committee.
Oh, that's cool.
Got to go to a couple of parties, and I was in the media center, radio row, in the convention center every day. So literally, like every day, I walked 5 feet and I saw a celeb. I saw so many people like Mad Dog, the AM sports radio legend, Stephen A. Smith, Emmett Smith. Even saw a couple of wrestlers I knew. It was crazy.
Man, that's so cool. So being part of the tourism, so that's kind of neat. So are you photography, videography for them?
Yeah, so my job title is actually video editor.
Okay.
So I do a lot of video projects that pretty much like lure conventions and even like Super Bowls, WrestleManias to the city. But I take
2026.
Yeah. They're already like they're working like 10 years ahead. They're booking events like 10 years in advance because
oh wow,
New Orleans, like our economy is pretty much like tourism based, so that's like our main moneymaker.
Yeah.
So it's like one of the most important entities in the city.
That's amazing, my friend. And we talked just recently here, that I have a connection to New Orleans through a friend who played for the Saints, Jerome
Mm,
Pathon.
big fans.
Um, yeah, man, he is such a cool dude. Like, he's doing his thing. Last I heard, he was in Florida. So who knows? Who knows where he is now? I haven't talked to him in years, but grew up around him, worked for him for a while. It was a good experience. New Orleans, known for food, music, Mardi Gras, Bourbon Street, and photography.
Yeah, definitely. It's one I would say. Maybe I'm biased because I'm from here, but I think it's one of the most photogenic places in the world. Like literally, like you can walk outside and there's a parade going on. I don't know if you are you familiar with the Indian culture, the Black Mexican Indian.
I'm not. No, fill me in.
Yeah, so this tradition goes back probably to like the early 1900s, where like black people would parade in the street, and they call them suits. They would make these suits, hand make them out of ostrich feathers and beads, and it was basically to pay homage to the natives that helped the enslaved escape slavery. And the tradition still goes on today. Like they debut the suits on Mardi Gras Day, so it literally takes like 365. I mean, yeah, 365 days to create the suit. So literally, like Mardi Gras Day, they come out with the suit and they parade in it for a couple of months, and like literally, like the next day, they're already working on a suit for next year.
Wow.
And it's like it's a friendly competition because every neighborhood has like different tribes. There's like I don't want to misspeak, but I think there's like today there's probably like 50 tribes, probably more than that. But they all like in competition with each other, basically to say who's the prettiest. Like that's the biggest compliment you could give a Black Mexican Indian is who's prettier.
That's and it's probably so vibrant and colorful.
Oh yeah,
And then I think of New Orleans when I think of it, I think of like music, live music being played as they're walking down the street, brass instruments, drums, capturing the history, right? Like it's just such a historic it's a historic town. Like I don't
yeah.
know a lot about Louisiana, but I know like from what I've seen, um, like I can hear the music in my head when I think of New Orleans, right?
Hmm.
Like that's what I like, and it's always about brass instruments, drums, people dancing, having a good time. What's it like being able to capture that?
Oh, it's like it's spiritual in a lot of ways because, like you say, it has a lot like ancestral vibes, and the drumming is rooted in African and indigenous um music. Yeah, it's just yeah.
And the architecture too, right? Like there's just so much. It's one of those. I have a friend from growing when I grew up in Oregon, and she is in Louisiana somewhere, and I know she's always posting pictures in New Orleans. And she's like, "Oh, you just need to stop by, just swing by." I'm like, "Oh yeah, just swing by."
Yeah, it's literally like a gumbo. Like it's. I mean, it's an overused term, but it is. It's a gumbo. It's like we have Spanish influence, French influence, West African influence, Caribbean influence. Like it's all in one melting pot, and the gumbo comes out in New Orleans. Yeah, you should definitely come.
Yeah, man. Just I have your website open right now, and I'm just kind of browsing some of the New Orleans pictures and stuff, and it's just you capture it in such a way, and then they're just incredible photos. Like I'm looking at one, I guess it's in their regalia, their feathers, and it's just this elaborate, and that takes more than a year to make. That's insane.
It's all hand sewn too, and some of them are like upwards of like $20,000 to make.
Jeez.
Yeah, like if you like literally like today is the Saturday, Mardi Gras is in 2 weeks, so they're all like putting the final finishing touches on them. Like this is my favorite time of year, getting ready for that.
Do you make it a point to be down and around that, capturing moments and just to keep these moments that are like you said, these suits go away after this and they start a
Yeah,
new one. So you're actually capturing a moment in time that for a suit that may never be seen again.
definitely, and that's one of the reasons I think I picked up the camera in the first place is it's kind of like you're like a documentarian because who's to say like this like hopefully this culture doesn't go away, but I mean you never know what happens like I mean, we've been through Katrina, like that's almost 20 years ago. We almost lost the culture for good then. So it's important for me to document this as
That
much as
was,
I
man, Katrina was crazy. And I mean, I was only watching it from afar, so I couldn't imagine what was it like living there.
Yeah, it was a rough. Like there's still friends that I've like lost contact with because that was like the beginnings of social media. So if you didn't have a person's phone number, there was no way to like reach out to them.
Yeah.
But there's so many people that didn't come back that left for good.
I couldn't even imagine. I mean, we had an earthquake here yesterday, and that
Wow.
which is super rare. It's like a 4.8, and I actually thought it was just a big truck at first driving down my street. And then the second one came in, and I was like, wait, no, that's still rumbling. That's an earthquake. We get them occasionally. Most of the time we don't even feel them here.
Hmm.
But it makes once you have one where you actually feel it kind of makes you realize how easy catastrophic things can happen.
Yeah, in a matter of seconds, and that's a crazy thing. Like in New Orleans, we actually survived the hurricane. It was like the day after the levee broke, and that's when the water came in and like flooded the whole city.
How bad were you affected by this?
My family, we were displaced for probably like a year, but actually, like I grew up in New Orleans East, which was like one of the like worst areas for the storm. Like the house I grew up in, the original house I grew up in, they had 12 feet of water, but my parents moved like 5 years before Katrina up the street, and that house didn't get one drop of water.
Oh, wow.
We're one of the only houses in the east that didn't get water. One of the few houses, but we couldn't go back because the whole city was shut down. So we were displaced in Lafayette for a while. But I actually came back to New Orleans to finish college because I was in college at the time.
You shot all through college. You've just continued to shoot your whole life. That's been like something you knew you wanted to do.
Yeah, on and off. Like um, there was like a big chunk of my childhood where I was actually like most kids in New Orleans. I played music. Like I wanted to be a jazz musician.
Oh, crazy. That's
So
awesome.
from like second grade till college, pretty much I was playing music.
Nice. What was your instrument of choice?
I started on piano at age 5, and then I graduated to flute because most people start on piano to get the basics of reading sheet music, and
Yeah.
I played flute for pretty much my whole childhood.
Oh
And
man, that's
dabbled in
amazing.
alto saxophone too.
Nice.
I
I
was a flautist before it was fashionable by Andre 3000.
I I took lessons for piano when I was younger, and I can still play the first 2 seconds of "Oh, when the Saints Go Marching In." That's my musical
Nice.
prowess here.
Well, that's one of our biggest songs. So yeah.
So I believe it was yesterday. I was just sitting here trying to get some information for our talk today, and who shows up on your page but the one and only Rock. As a wrestling fan, I was instantly super excited. I showed my wife, right? She was sitting next to me on the couch. I was like, "Oh my goodness, look at this. He's talking to the freaking Rock." Uh, so that's as you're saying before, WrestleMania is coming to New Orleans in 2026.
Correct. Yep.
Um, and then you asked The Rock a specific question about music,
Hmm.
and The Rock came out with some banger groups from the 90s. And you
Yeah.
were saying you're a big 90s hip hop fan. So I guess growing up in Louisiana, you are that's Cash Money, that's Master P,
Well, yeah. All
The
of
Rock even threw it out there, the 504 boys, like, you know, I
that.
know here when Master P came out, like, you had Master P, oh, Mia X,
Yeah. Actually.
Mystical. You had all these. We loved the New Orleans based music here or
Hmm.
Louisiana based music. But then you had Juvenile, you had Lil Wayne, you had oh man, what did they call themselves?
The Hot Boys.
That's it. Yeah.
Yep.
You had Manny Fresh. Like
Hmm.
you had so much music. Like what was it like growing up in Louisiana when they were the kings of hip hop?
Man, that was a time. Like I kind of wish rap. I feel like it's kind of going back towards this way. Like I feel like back then, every region had its own sound. Like you could clearly like listen to a song and be like, "Oh, this is New Orleans," or "This is Miami" because of the bass, the 808s.
Yep.
Houston even had their own sound, and that's just the South. Like, and I'm not even talking about New York and Detroit and California.
Yep.
Like every region had its own sound. So like coming up in New Orleans in the '90s, like you said, we had Cash Money and No Limit both like being hot at the same time. And you would turn on the radio and all you heard was Cash Money and No Limit. You didn't have to listen to anything else. Even though I did because I'm such a music nerd. Like I collect vinyl too, so I'm
Oh, nice.
yeah. I'm always like quote unquote digging in the crates for new stuff.
Nice little Big
I'm,
L.
oh yeah. Big L,
I
yeah, that's
told
one of my favorites.
I told you, bro. I'm 90s hip hop. That is my
Yeah.
still to this day. If I have a choice, man, I will take late 80s up to mid 90s hip hop. That
Hmm.
is that music still hits me in a different way.
Hmm.
But being so musical and having music as such a passion for you, do you find like, back in the day looking at CD covers, remember they used to open up and they'd have all the photos
Oh
inside.
yeah. Hmm.
Did you find like music and that hip hop vibe, do you find that really like does that cater into your photography and videography style?
Oh, definitely. The only other thing that would probably I would say influenced me more was probably like being a little kid at my aunt's house, reading National Geographic, looking at those pictures. But it was definitely like the liner notes and the albums and even like the old jazz albums with the guys with the cigarettes, the black and white with the haze, sitting by the piano, like all of those classic photos.
Yeah. So I have this vision of something I've always wanted to do, and I always want to see if there's anybody else who's thought this way. Is I would like to take old school, like you said, jazz album covers,
Hmm.
old school movie scenes from like Scarface or Goodfellas, um, or even going back as far as like, the scene in Boys in the Hood when everybody's on the front porch,
Hmm.
and then recreating it today, with the new twist and the new eye, like everybody has a unique eye. But I just
Hmm.
think it'd be so cool to go in and like pay homage to all of these things. Or, Spike Lee is one of my favorite movie people. And
Oh man, you're talking to the like biggest Spike Lee fan. Like man,
yeah,
we like Kendrick Spears. Like Spike Lee is like literally my idol. Like I've actually met him like 3 times.
how
And
cool is that?
yeah, I had the opportunity to when I was working at the TV station, um one of our anchors, she was a long time anchor. She's an icon in New Orleans, but Spike Lee was a we had him as a phone interview because he couldn't be in the studio. He was advertising that he was gonna be at the mall. That's how long ago this was. Malls were still a thing.
Yeah.
But he was gonna be at the mall later that evening to sign autographs for which movie was that? Oh, Miracle at St. Anna.
Okay.
World War I, the movie he did. And the anchor told him that I was a big fan. She was like, "Oh, Larry, our camera guy is one of your biggest fans." So I literally, she gave me an IFB to put in my ear, and I went on set, and he talked to me live on air and told me to meet him at the mall at such and such time. So I like ran home and like scrambled, got stuff like I was trying to. I didn't even have a resume, but I was like, "Oh, maybe he might give me a job or something." I was getting like all kind of memorabilia and stuff for him to autograph, and I went to the mall that night. He was really waiting on me too, and we talked for like 10 minutes.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah,
You
he
know,
was the
I,
nicest guy.
growing up on the West Coast in Vancouver, Canada, I mean, we had lots of hip hop come through here. Um, Nothing like the States, obviously, because we're quite a bit smaller than they are. But I saw Public Enemy here.
Oh man,
I saw, oh man, the list goes on. Like I was telling you, I saw the Hieroglyphics when they were down there. I saw Souls of Mischief when they came up here. Uh,
93 to infinity.
yes, sir. And just that was such a powerful time of my life. But what made me really go the Spike Lee direction was when Do the Right Thing came out.
Hmm.
Because I realized when I came to Canada, like growing up in Oregon, it was multicultural. Like where my grandparents lived, it was white, black, Indian. It didn't matter, man. Everybody just kind of hung out.
Mm-hmm.
Where I moved up here was predominantly a white neighborhood.
Mm.
And I always found that weird. And then I heard about the premise of that movie, and I was still young when it came out, and I watched it, and it was just so powerful.
It's still relevant today. Like it's
100%.
probably more relevant now than it was when it came out.
But could you imagine going back and just shooting scenes similar, like
Oh
yourself, like
man,
with images?
man, I would love to do that. I'm just thinking, even with because they were very particular on the colors they used too. It was a lot of red and blues.
Yeah.
And I think there's like a certain neighborhood in New Orleans that looks kind of like that.
Oh,
I think they use red and blues. I read one time to try to convey like through the camera lens that it was like super hot. Hmm. But yeah, it's probably like yeah, that's my mom. Like I was probably too young when Do the Right Thing came out, but I remember the first one I saw at the show was Malcolm X.
yeah.
That movie pretty much transformed my whole life. Like Malcolm X is probably my favorite person. Like yesterday was literally the day he passed away too. So I went down the rabbit hole like watching Malcolm X videos yesterday. But that's probably the most inspirational movie.
The message that Malcolm X was portraying and chasing and putting out there for people to hear,
Hmm.
you would hope, being that I'm indigenous, so I get the same um, feelings when it comes to freedoms and things like that.
Right.
But you would think things would change. You know what I mean? You know, like I love everybody. There's not a single person. You may not like me, but you know what,
Mhm.
man? I'm still going to love you. And that's just the way I am. I just don't want to be, I don't have time to hate. I don't understand people that can put all their effort into that.
And that's the thing I think people don't realize about Malcolm. They look at his earlier speeches, but by the time he was of like older, like before he up until he died, but he was really preaching a message about peace and like bringing people together.
Yep.
Like I don't know if you're familiar with Fred Hampton. Kind of, he was the same thing. He was just 21 when he passed away, but he was yeah, he was a Black Panther leader in Chicago. He was meeting with the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, wow.
He realized that we all had a common thing. Like it was really about classism. It wasn't about like skin color. It was about like financial, economic.
That's, I'm going to look into him after
Yeah,
we're off
definitely.
here. Um, Now, being a photographer from the South, do you have any legends, some that just they inspire you to continue shooting every day? Like I know for me, like I have living legends, I call them, like Devin Allen out of Baltimore.
Oh, I love his work. Yep.
Yeah, so he is. I had 3 hours with him, and it was his story, and it was so eye opening. And I was already a huge fan. But when
Hmm.
you get to know people, like I'm a huge fan of your work when you post it, but now I've gotten to know you, I'm even a
Hmm.
bigger fan. So now it's it's over. We're friends now. I'm coming down. We're hanging out at your house. Um,
Gotta get
but
some pull boys, some gumbo. Yep.
yeah, but it's like I admire your work, but I admire you more as a person. And now you've just laid out stepping stones for me to be able to achieve the things you've achieved. It's not a
Hmm.
contest. It's not a competition. It's here's the ladder. This is what I went through to do it. And obviously, I didn't have the Freddie Gray uprising to capture and get
Hmm.
out there. But is there anybody that you see that you have talked with or that just inspires you every time you see something they put out?
Oh yeah, like even like his family members, like my uncles. Like you say, Devin Allen's somebody I pay attention a lot to. Andre Wagner. Um, there's a couple of local people here. Actually, I'm part of a book called Seeing Black that just came out. It's available online, but it's like a collection of black photographers from New Orleans. It it goes from like the 1800s to present day,
Oh
and
wow,
I have like two pictures in there. But there's like even photographers in that book that inspire me, like Eric Waters. He's a local legend. Gus, there's a guy named Gus Bennett who I talk to a lot. I learned a lot from him. He's a local legend. Um, I love Dawu Bey. Um, Gordon Parks, of course, he's like the GOAT for me.
100%.
Yeah, Jamil Shabazz. There's a bunch of people.
I've been trying to get him on the show. He followed me, so I must be getting close.
Oh. Yeah, there's a common thread. I think like most of the people I named, they use their camera as a tool to like what's the word I'm looking for? Like going back to the documentary and phrase I used earlier, like they're using the camera to shine a light on something that maybe the world doesn't see all the time. And there's a message behind it. Even like that's why I'm a fan of Spike Lee. It's the same reason. Like that's what I strive to be is to be that.
You're on your way, my friend,
Thanks.
for sure. Like, you know how you can like favorite people on like threads, so that's who comes up first.
Hmm.
You're in my favorites, so I always see your work anytime you post something.
Oh wow, thanks.
Um, like Gordon Parks, A Choice of Weapon,
Right.
right? You watch the documentary on Gordon Parks and you listen to him and he talks about all the crap he is going on in the world that he deals with, but he captures these beautiful moments that in that era nobody would have seen.
As a black man, like in the 1930s, like
Unreal. You hear about all of these people that are capturing these moments that the general public don't know about, right?
mm,
And then they're asking him, "No, you can't run that." He's like, "Well, those are the images. Run them."
huh,
And you're listening to him, and you're like, "Yeah, exactly. This is what needs to happen."
right.
Um, and it's cool. Like I'm working on a project called the Life of Phys Project, and the premise of it is I'm looking for 10 to 20 secondhand digital cameras that I can send to indigenous communities around North America,
Mm,
and then do a Zoom, teach the kids how to set it up, aperture priority, and then shoot the cameras for 30 days. Then I'll get them sent back, and then we'll basically create a contact sheet of their images for those 30 days. And
hmm.
then I have, so currently it's myself, Devin Allen, um, Ricky Shubio. I don't know if you follow Ricky. He's incredible. Space Camp Fresh on social medias.
All
He
right.
is, man, that guy
Um,
gave me
Probably, yeah.
so much knowledge on business because he runs a studio called Big Kids, and it was like anytime I have questions, he's my guy.
Hmm.
So there's about 7 or 8 of us, and we're not going to critique. We're going to talk to them about the images. What do you see? And then we're going to explain what we see and what they could have changed slightly. But that art is subjective. And then in each group, the one or two, maybe three that show like this is something that they're talented at, they're passionate about, and they want to continue, they will get one of the cameras and they'll get a year of mentorship from one of us.
Wow.
So, and it's going to work in conjunction with, we haven't worked out all the details, but Devin Allen does a similar project in Baltimore.
Yeah, I've seen him post. Yeah.
So
Mm,
he's gonna really help me get things rolling, and we're gonna kind of work it into conjunction because, man, think of graffiti artists or break dancers or kids that are still out doing
right.
this amazing art. And if we get a camera in their hands, what can they do? What can they
He-
produce?
These are all indigenous.
And we're gonna do black communities as well.
I was saying like that's important too, because
Yeah.
especially now at a time where like people are debating like who's American, and
Yeah.
I feel like that's a story that's not being told,
Yeah.
told
I
enough.
can't even I can't even imagine what it's like living there right now.
Yeah.
But no, it's
Whole
gonna
different
be,
podcast episode.
yeah. We're we're gonna do inner city youth, you know, troubled youth that they're trying to sway away from gang life, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. And that's where I'll be reaching out to people like yourself and being like, hey man, like I really want this to be a worldwide thing. Like, do you know kids that we can bring together, and because you're in that city, you can mentor,
Oh yeah, there's definitely a need for that here in New
right?
Orleans.
Like,
Sure.
could you imagine what these kids, because their eyes see things so much differently than we do.
Mm-hmm.
And all it takes, I know for me, like I was late into this game. I mean, I'm 50 now, and I started shooting photos in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And it's my life now. It's everything. When I have a good day, bad day, it doesn't matter. My camera, that shutter click, it's over. As soon
Yeah,
as I hear it.
I was literally telling my wife in the truck on the way back home this morning. I was like, I need to go shoot something this weekend.
Yeah. I rolled out early this morning. It was we had a heavy fog rolled in, and I have this Porsche dealership just down the road from me, and they always have this. They have a car on like this slant right in front of
Oh, I
the.
saw you posted. I saw you posted a Porsche the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I take this from my car because it's a busy intersection.
Wow.
So I position myself in between other cars so I can get a clear shot, and I take it through the car.
That's
But
you using a Ricoh with that or?
no, that was the what did I shoot that with? No, I shot that with the ZF.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah. So manual lens, I just infinity focus it and away I go.
Mhm.
But there's so much. I look at photography like through the eyes of a skateboarder.
Mm.
So that's why if you know a lot of people notice from my stuff, it's low angles upwards. I do things like slightly different than normal people would compose an image. And
Yeah,
I think
just
that's
straight up
just,
instead of just a normal like straight ahead.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like to be low. I like, or high perspectives.
Hmm.
Um, but kids, they're just, especially if they're in that age range where they haven't been clouded by society yet,
Right.
right? Would be so interesting to see what they can capture.
Yeah, that does sound like New Orleans could definitely benefit from having something like that.
But once I have it all written out and in play, then we'll chat because I feel like obviously I think photography is a great way to heal, and why the podcast is called Vice is photography heals your soul.
Hmm.
Because I find that it's a big part of why I am in a better place today.
Hmm.
So, how do you feel? Like, is your creativity through you either shooting photos or video or listening to music, being involved in the music scene? How does that play into your mental health? Do you find like that it's very important that you build off it, that it really helps if you're having a low day?
Oh yeah, it's everything to me. Like I feel like being an artist, I have to be doing something creative at least once a day. Like you said, whether it's listening, even in just listening to music, like I'll put on like a MF Doom song, my favorite Wu-Tang song, and yeah. But taking pictures, I feel like that's like everything to me. Like I feel like I have to do it like every day, not only to sharpen my skills, but just to keep sane, for better lack of another word. But
I fully understand what you mean. Um, and there's so many pitfalls people can run into, especially when it comes to social media. Getting so concerned about likes and follows and all of this, where you start just shooting only to have what they call bangers. You know,
I've been chasing that banger for years.
me too.
There's a funny story too about I referenced Wu-Tang a couple of times this episode, this on the podcast, but um a couple of years ago, I don't know if you heard Jazz Fest. We have a big jazz festival every year.
Yep.
And Wu-Tang actually performed, actually the first year I worked in tourism, that was 2 years ago. And I happened to with my phone, it wasn't even a new iPhone, it was probably an older one. I got footage of Method Man being excited that the ASL interpreter knew all the hand gestures for
That
I don't
was
even
yours. That footage was yours,
remember. Yeah.
dude.
I just put it up. I thought it was gonna be funny. Like I thought, oh, maybe my friends would like it and laugh at it. Like here we are, like 10 million views later. I'm still getting inbox and likes for it. And I'm like, man, I put up all these pictures every day. I don't get half the likes, but I put up a video of Method Man and I get like 15 million likes.
dude. I saw that before I even knew you,
Yeah,
and it
that's
was,
me.
dude, like watching his face change when he's watching her, and
Uh,
like he's getting all into it behind her. It was
Actually, one
that's
of my coworkers at work, she was like, "Oh, you're the person that did the Method Man video." I was like, "Yeah, that's me." It's funny that I post these pictures that I think are gonna be bangers, but the Method Man video is the one that got me viral. I literally went from like 5,000 followers to like a couple of days later, I'm at 15,000 now.
Wow. And that's all it takes. I mean, it takes one thing, right?
Yeah,
But
but it's just funny to me that it happened from a Wu-Tang video of all things. But
you had that connection.
universe, yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually,
Um,
Master Killer reached out to me on inbox.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's so cool. I'm a Wu-Tang fan. I can't help it. Um, so you have this book you're in. That's the Seeing Black and White in a Gray World. Is that the one we're talking about?
No, wait, I could get it right here. It's sitting on my WrestleMania chair. I got it right. Yeah, here it goes.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Seeing Black photography. Sorry, Seeing Black photography in New Orleans, 1840 and beyond. Incredible.
Mhm.
I'll put a link to that for sure.
It's
Um,
a great coffee table. It's well done.
it looks like it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, there's actually my pictures right there.
Unfortunately, I can't see it because it blurs you out.
Blurry background. Yeah.
um, that's amazing, man. I love promoting that kind of stuff. Like you're in a book. It may only be two pictures, but you're in a book of history, a book of things that someone 30, 40, 50 years from now is going to be able to pick up and look through. And you're a tangible thing. Your images are tangible.
I still can't believe it because I'm sure you do too. You probably collect photography books.
Oh, yeah.
The fact I'm in one of this caliber is still crazy to me.
Well, congratulations. You deserve
Thanks.
it.
Thanks.
Um, but that's what photography is actually about, is that long lasting, tangible product.
Hmm.
It's about building something that right now may not be the banger, as people call it, but you're building a base for something that 30 or 40 years down the line, people can pick it up and be like, oh, this is Larry's photo. I remember this. Right. And it brings back memory. It brings back history. People talk about that moment. And that's more important, at least to me in the photography, than I don't know. I don't even look at likes. So I don't even know what any of my photos get. But I want to know, like, in that time frame down the line, my grandkids can pick up a photo and be like, oh, grandpa did this. That's what it means. It touches them in a way where they can think of a memory of me and be proud because they're tangibly holding something I created.
Hmm.
So, congratulations on the book, man. That's a big one. That's a milestone for sure.
Yeah, they actually the New Orleans African American Museum purchased two of my photos they're in a permanent collection now.
No,
So yeah,
congr-
that's
dude, congrats, man. That
yeah.
is incredible.
It's kind of funny. I'm saying this out loud. And I'm worried about banners, but I have like literally I have two pictures in a permanent museum collection.
You know why we want bangers? Because we strive for it, man. It's like when you're a kid and you want to be a jazz musician, or you want to be a rapper, or you want to be an athlete, like playing top level Super Bowl,
Hmm.
and you're always chasing that dream.
Yeah,
The banger is what we think we need to chase, but in reality, it's a tangible product that's hanging on walls and in books that's going to empower us later on.
exactly.
So,
Yep.
dude, congratulations, man. That is a milestone and something to be very, very proud of.
Thanks. So yeah, I don't take it for granted.
Yeah, I'm like super happy for you. I'm actually gonna order the book here in a minute.
Oh yeah, it's a
Um,
great book. I definitely recommend it to anybody who's listening. If you want
it's
to get
in
a
my
grasp of
Amazon
New
cart.
Orleans culture.
You got any projects you're working on? Anything in the background that you're just trying to create or curate, as they call it, for a future, maybe a book of your own about New Orleans?
Now, I've thought about like because the second line book has been done so many times in New Orleans. I don't want to just do more of the same. So I'll say second line. Like I know, are you familiar with second line?
I'm not. No.
So second line is a parade that take place on Sundays. It started like kind of like the Black Mexican Indians. It started in the early like 1900s, maybe even earlier than that. But back in the day, like these black communities, they all had like their own benevolent societies that would like take care of the community for like funeral costs, of like helping with food for the community. And every society had their own parade, and they would do parades to like raise money for the actual entity. And that
That's
tradition
cool.
goes on today. Like we have like hundreds of social aid and pleasure clubs. They called that parade like in each neighborhood. Like one Sunday there might be one uptown. The next Sunday it might be one in the Ninth Ward. So they're like scattered all over the place. So every Sunday, from like I want to say August till late spring, there's a second line parade every Sunday, and it's called second line because back in the day, well, I say back, but still to this day, there's a thing called jazz funerals. I don't know if you've seen pictures of a jazz funeral where like the band leads the casket out, and then they go to the burial ground, and it starts a procession, and they would
Okay.
call a second line. There was a second line of people that would follow behind the procession. That would like the band would break out into like when the Saints go marching in, or like a high speed, fast paced number like that, and they would be dancing in the streets. So that's where the term second lining came from.
Okay.
But yeah, every Sunday there's a second line.
And that's been captured, you're saying, by numerous people.
Oh yeah, and I still capture it too, but I don't want to like because there's so many books on second lines. I kind of want to do more because I'm into like a lot of rural stuff because I live on the outskirts of New Orleans now.
Yeah.
So I want to, like I said earlier, I've been inspired by like Jason Lee and even like Ty Heidel.
Oh,
I kind of want to do, yeah.
yeah.
The Jason Momoa HBO episode, I've watched that like 5 times.
On the roam, man.
Yeah, I love that.
My buddy Jason Roman, Stock Easy's his photographer.
Yeah, I listened to your interview with him like 3 times. I was
Yeah,
inspired
dude.
by the interview.
Thanks, man. He
Yeah.
if you ever want to reach out to someone, it'll take him a while to get back to you. But you want
Hmm.
to hear someone who is just truly, purely a great person, it's
Yeah, he
Jason
seems
Roman.
like, yeah.
He is he was one of the first people when I got into this. I had just got a Fuji and I saw he was shooting the same lens as me, and I just, oh, I don't know anybody really in photography, so let's just ask a question. And he came back and he ran down all these settings for me, and he didn't have to,
Hmm.
and he did. And ever since then, man, we just talk, and it was so cool that he gave me the time in between his busy schedule, because I mean that guy's busy,
Yeah.
you know.
I see he's
So
been pumping the he's big on the SL3 right now.
yeah,
You
well,
like it, yeah.
he just shot the oh, what's that game the kids play? Minecraft, so the Minecraft movie.
Oh yeah.
Jack
Hmm.
Black and Jason Momoa are in
Yeah.
it, and he is the official. His images are the billboard, everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
That's
that was
cool.
pretty neat to hear. Um, but in your area is, I don't know it that well, but I think of like, like bayous and things. Is
Hmm.
there a pretty strong fishing community?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I just
Up the
picture
road,
these.
like maybe like I would say like 20 minutes from here up the road. There's a market where you can actually go out there and buy like fresh seafood, like shrimp,
Oh,
crawfish.
nice.
Yeah. I mean,
But could you?
I'm that out loud. I kind of think I'm gonna pick up crawfish today for lunch.
What? But I'm thinking like if I lived in that area, I would be like looking at the boats, the nets,
Hmm.
what the things they're using, and then maybe trying to see what the lineage is of that boat. If it's been a family boat, like
Oh
that kind of
wow. Yeah.
history piece, right? That's what I feel like. That's what my heart's telling me for the area. I'd be like, okay, I need to learn the history.
Hmm.
I want to know, like, oh, so this was your great grandfather's boat, like crazy. So did you want to continue this, or was just this family was like, this is what you're doing?
Right.
you know, um, that's just the way I look at that area, and I struggle where I am because I'm kind of outside of Vancouver.
Hmm.
So if I was in Vancouver, there's tons of street stuff I could shoot. I've shot every street in the town I live in, and I'm so bored of it. So like I'm just trying to find things myself that brings and lifts me to want to create a body of work that I'm proud of. So I'm still looking for that constantly.
Yeah, and I guess that's why I'm focused on like the rural thing because I think that's the side of like Southeast Louisiana people don't really get to see that much because everybody seems like the New Orleans, the Mexican Indians, the second lines, the Bourbon Street, the brass bands. So I kind of want to show that part of Louisiana too.
That would be that would be cool. And I'm not ignoring you. I just noticed if I order in the next 10 minutes, I can have it tomorrow. So I'm just ordering
Oh,
the book.
nice. All right.
um,
Good Sunday read with some coffee.
yes,
Looking,
sir.
yeah.
I would love to make it to your area and capture some of that history.
Yeah, like you were saying earlier when you asked me about upcoming projects, I'm thinking too, like this is like pretty much like Super Bowl for New Orleans photographers because we're getting close to Mardi Gras. So that's like one of my favorite times to shoot also because the Mexican Indians are coming out.
Ordered.
Nice.
That would be cool, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Indians, the Indians coming out. Um,
Have you ever thought? I'm just throwing out ideas because when I hear you talk about it, the passion that's coming through you,
mhm.
it's inspiring me. So I'm thinking of like I don't know a lot about the area, but again, I'm just thinking of what you're saying. It'd be really neat to like document that process of making a costume.
Oh man, it's funny you say that because I've been thinking about it. And that's another thing too. Like, I guess like you have to like prove yourself because it's a real even though they're out there in the streets, it's a real secretive culture, rightfully so, because they
Yep.
don't want anybody coming in and because they've been taken advantage of before by like photographers that come from out of town or even out the country and put the camera in their face, and then next thing you know, they're like selling it in the
Yep.
museum for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the people who actually made the suit don't get any money off of it.
We have
So
the same here with the indigenous
yeah.
communities. They're very guarded.
Hmm.
Even when I'm on, my wife is named by the local community. She is a member of their community.
Hmm.
But even when I go on their land, I ask permission.
Yeah.
I follow protocol. If they say yes, you can, but when this section happens, you have
Hmm.
to turn the camera off. I'm not gonna mess with it. That camera's going off.
Hmm.
And again, establishing that trust. I want them to know like I have the best intention.
Right.
And if you want, I always say, if you want to use any image you see, I will send them to you first.
Hmm.
You can use them. They're yours. So if I was thinking if I was going to do any kind of project with them, I would make sure that a percentage of sales went back to the community.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because like
Right.
I see those suits cost like some of them cost like $10,000 to $20,000 to make. So,
And
but that's what I was gonna say. Like I built the trust because I'm out there so much. I built a rapport with like some of the big chiefs of these tribes that allow me to come in and sit with them even on practices. Like actually, one of my latest set of photos on Instagram was this was open to the public, but that was an example of a black masking practice.
I'm just pulling up your Instagram page here. I see you with a picture of you with Oso Cinco.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
that was during that was opening night of the Super Bowl. I
I
was
loved
literally like
Chad.
calling his name. I was on the sideline. He was kind of like almost close to midfield. And he like ran to me and hugged me, and I was with two of my friends from work, and they were like, "You know Ocho Cinco?" I was like, "No," but he gave me like this big hug for like 5 seconds and told me he loved me. And I was like, "Oh, I guess we're friends now."
He seems, I know he's
Yeah,
had
he was
his
cool.
issues, but he seems like a genuine person. Like, he doesn't he has all the right in the world to carry an attitude for the ability he had to play football,
Right.
but he seems to be a very genuine person in the world, and that's
Mhm.
hard to come by when it's a professional athlete.
And New Orleans is one of those cities they always say like, if you love New Orleans, it'll love you back. And he literally like embraced the city the whole week. He was tweeting about stuff. He was talking about he was going to Super Sunday, which I was going to get to that too. Super Sunday is like this event that happens in April. In April? No, in March, where like all the tribes come together in one. Because on Mardi Gras Day, you have to kind of be in a neighborhood, whatever tribe you're trying to take pictures of. But on Super Sunday, all the tribes come together and they all parade down the street one by one, like tribe by tribe. I mean,
Nice.
so
That's cool.
there's like a Super Bowl of like photographing Black Mexican Indians, and there's also another day, which is my favorite day to photograph them on St. Joseph's night. It's tradition for them to come out on St. Joseph's night, so you get like this magic hour light coming down on the suits, like it's crazy.
And they're all sparkle. They sparkle and shine, eh?
Yeah, and they're all another thing. The suits are so intricate. They all tell stories. Like you have to like really pay attention to the story that the suits are telling.
So similar to the indigenous regalia, it all
Yeah.
has a meaning, and the color means where you're from and things like that.
Mhm.
That's so. I'm looking at this picture right now of Big Chief Daryl Montana.
Oh, yeah, that was a St. Joseph's night with the light coming in. Yep.
That is a book cover,
Thanks.
dude. That is a book cover right there. You can just like it's so many layers to just his outfit, his regalia he's wearing. But you can see the pride in his face.
And his dad actually is considered like one of the goats of the legends of the culture. His dad was Tootie Montana. Who
Okay.
Tootie Montana actually did a lot of work to bring the tribes together because in the olden days, I want to say in the 1960s, 70s, it kind of got like a little violent, like between the tribes. Like it wasn't a friendly competition. It was like a almost like a violent competition. But Tootie worked hard to like bring the tribes together. And Daryl is his son. Tootie actually he passed away in the city council chambers protesting because the police were trying to in a local government were trying to say that they needed a permit to like parade in the streets, even though this is like a 100-year tradition. And he was like peacefully protesting in city hall chambers, and he passed away like in the chambers while
Oh
protesting.
wow.
And this was like right before Hurricane Katrina, I think.
See, there's all this history and
Yeah.
stuff that you could be sharing in word, and it would just be, man, I just have so many ideas now. For you, not for me, for you, where you are.
Even in the beating of the suits, like Daryl Montana is considered a downtown Indian, and downtown Indians, their suits are more 3D symmetrical, as well the uptown Indians are more traditional, is more like into the intricate beading.
Okay.
But Daryl's dad, Big Chief Tootie, was kind of the innovators of the symmetric downtown look that's prevalent today.
That's you
The
have
downtown
you
Indian. Yeah.
you know so much history of it. Like that's man, I look forward to that book coming out.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
I know,
my wife, she's been luckily I have a wife and a family that's supportive. They've been real keen on me like starting a book or starting to put one together. Even if it's like a zine, I would like to do a zine at least to get the word out.
I have this open invitation to anybody who's been on the show. If you start a zine, a book, any project, let
Hmm.
me know and I will promote it.
All right.
I will add some words to the beginning of a few of the episodes just to get people interested and excited for
Mhm.
what's coming.
Have you ever
Um,
done a zine before? You?
I haven't. I have been told many times by my wife that I need to, but I mean, still work a 9 to 5. This thing takes a ton of time.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
I have
Same
6 kids, so I'm always busy.
Mhm.
But
I don't
I'm
have any
lit.
kids yet, but yeah, I'm busy, pretty busy. But I'm trying to like at least this year at least at least do a zine.
Nice. Well, I think you have so many opportunities. You could probably do multiple. You could do one on fishing. You could do one on the tribes. You could. There's just your Super Bowl experience even could probably be one.
Hmm.
But I noticed on this picture of Big Chief Daryl Montana that it was liked by Mr. Eric the Red. So if
Oh
you
yeah,
I don't know if you follow Eric.
yeah, I do. I met
Yeah,
him through your show.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that. I love
yeah.
hearing when people.
Me and Eric talk all the time on like through DMs or
Yeah,
threads. Instagram. Yeah.
his story is amazing, and Eric is one of those people that I can't wait to make it to Vegas so I can hang out with him.
No, I've never been to Vegas actually either.
It's crazy because I see these people all liking your photos, and I'm like, hey, he was on my show. But I love
Funny,
hearing that you,
yeah. Oh, what you
you met
said?
him. I just love hearing that, you guys have found each other through hearing him on my show.
Hmm.
That's at least I'm doing something right.
Yeah.
I'm getting the word, and I'm connecting people around the world, and you
Yeah,
can't
it's
ask
almost
for
like your
anything
show
more.
is building in its own way. It's building a community. And that's
That's
the
the
one thing that I
goal.
like too about people that have come on your show. Like nobody's like super like gatekeeping because I'm sure where you live too. There's like photographers who've been doing it a while who don't want to share.
I want to build community. I want to build a group of people that if you have a question and I can't answer, I can be like, you know what, hit up so and so,
Mm-hmm.
and I can fire them a message, be like, hey man, Larry's got a question. He's gonna send you a message here in a few minutes.
Like I said, it should be community over competition.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we should all be helping each other be better. That's what it's all about. Like literally, like I found a community on Threads through I know I don't want to talk too much about Gary, but like the ZF,
Yep.
like even me hashtagging that on Threads, I found like a community of ZF users. And that cameras like inspire me on a whole different level. Like I feel like it's one of those like there've been like maybe like three cameras I've used that inspire me like that, and it's been the ZF, the X Pro 2, and probably the X100T. Those have been like the three most inspirational cameras. Like those cameras, I just look at them and like this is meant for me to shoot every day.
I am in 100% agreement. I think we got our ZFs pretty close to each other.
Yep.
Um, the X Pro 2 is my all-time favorite Fujifilm body, all
Oh
time.
yeah, by far, yeah. I still use the X Pro 2.
I regret that I got rid of it.
Oh man,
Uh,
you gotta get another
but
one.
yeah, no, I agree. Like I have the ZF and I have a Z7 too for which when I need the more megapixels,
Mhm.
which really don't matter, but sometimes I need to crop more.
Yeah.
There's something special. Like I was telling you, I went back home to Portland and I took my X100V and it was okay. I just wanted to make sure because I knew the camera like the back of my hand,
Hmm.
and I had just got the ZF and I came back and I went and shot a sunrise and looked at the image and posted the X100V for sale.
Just look
Back,
at it like it's made. Like I feel like it's made to like. You see,
yep,
I have mine with the grip and I got the little gold trigger button. Like I love it. It just looks like pick me up and shoot. Oh,
gold
you got the
trigger
gold.
button.
Yeah, nice. I think too why I love it so much because it reminds me of like almost like my childhood seeing the old film cameras.
Yeah, the FM2 and things.
Yeah, and I started it. I feel like I've come full circle almost because my first professional camera when I graduated from college was a well I say professional. It was a prosumer. It was a D40 Nikon. Actually, my aunt who I talked about earlier, she's the my aunt that does the yearbook stuff. She's a Nikon shooter. Well, she's a Fuji shooter now, but she used to be a Nikon shooter. So she kind of influenced me to get the D40, and from there I graduated to the D7000. Then I had the D7100, and then that's when I went to the XT1 and
Yep,
never looked back with Fuji up until like last year when I got this. But
yep.
it's like I've come full circle. Like I'm back to where I started. I'm back with Nikon. And the crazy thing is, it still uses the same batteries.
Yeah,
If
the
I have to invest in new
EL15.
batteries, and I have all my old lenses, I could put the adapter on and use my old lenses.
How do you find in using the F mount lenses?
Oh, I love them.
Yeah,
This is actually a crop a DX camera, the 18-105.
yep,
I am looking to get more native Z mount glass. I bought the 40 that came with it.
yep.
So a distant 40. That's normally the one that stays on this camera.
I have that one over here somewhere. I got this one. I don't know if you've seen this yet. Oh, where's my camera? There we go. He's
Oh wow.
11 mil fisheye.
Oh man, you'll get some
So
good skate shots with that.
yeah, so TT Artisan makes it, and it's super affordable.
Is it manual focus?
It is, but
Nice.
it's a 2.8, so I mean it's great. It's perfect.
Yeah.
right? Once you have your focus, your zone focused in, then you're good to go. I haven't really tried much F mount glass. I've tried the 85 mil,
Hmm.
51.4, which I just found it so noisy.
Yeah, yeah.
The motor.
I
So
love noise, but not too much. Oh, you
yeah,
talking about like noise, like as far
like
as the sound?
the
Yeah,
autofocus motor was
yeah.
just so loud.
Mm.
So I have the 28 to 8, the 42, and then on the Z7 II, I just keep the 2470 f4.
That's the one I want, the 2470.
Find it used. People sell it for cheap because it's a kit lens.
Yeah,
Thing is so sharp. It's so accurate. It's perfect.
'cause I like being like I'm trying to convey a message in my photos, especially with the Indians. I feel like being a native, like born and raised New Orleanian, like I want my photos. I want to be able to people to see that in my photos that I'm like not necessarily like shooting from outside with like a telephoto, but I want to be like in the picture. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's the way that's some kind of message I want to convey. Like, oh, you could tell he's from New Orleans
Yeah.
because they're allowing him into their space and he's like up close.
Yeah.
I want to be able to feel the frame.
And then the best lens that I have is the Voigtlander 50 mil f2 APO.
Now I've been looking at the Voigtlander glass.
It's with that manual focus recognition that you get
Hmm.
because it has the contacts on the lens.
Yeah.
So you turn it, and when you're in single focus and you get focus, it goes green.
Hmm.
You turn the manual knob, it goes green.
Wow.
So it's like I was like, oh, game changer, no more focus speaking. Here I go.
It feels like we're on the ground floor, really, with Nikon. I feel like because you're online too. You see the potato jokes and all of that.
Yep.
The Sony uses. I don't want to generalize people who use certain cameras, but I feel like Nikon's like geared to have a big year, especially with buying red camera and stuff, and they
There's
just
gonna be
send out
some big
cinema
updates.
glare.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like the ZF is going to be like the first of many. Like this is going to be like a cult classic camera. It already is, but
It's gonna be the GFX 50R.
exactly. Which
Yep.
I thought about when I was looking for a camera. It was between the 50R. I was actually thinking about getting a Leica SL too, but I've ended up getting this. I still plan on getting a Leica, maybe a film Leica in the future, but I love the ZF.
Yesterday, when I was out, like I said, with Big Head Taco for his camera, coffee, and things he does every third Friday. And that was really the first time I had the ability to have multiple different Leicas in my hand. But there's something special about the camera when you feel it.
Exactly. I try to tell it. Some people hate on it, like, oh, it's for dentists, the people, the doctors, who people could afford it. But it really is a difference when you hold one in your hands. Like you could tell they made it with care, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the same feeling I get with this.
You were a Fuji guy before this.
But yeah,
So I had the X100 V, and as soon as I picked up the ZF, the weight of it, the magnesium top and bottom, the brass dials that I know are going to patina over time, there is just something about that. And
Mhm.
that even the shutter sounds good. There was something about that that just made my Fuji feel like a toy.
Yeah,
And I mean, the X100V was the last made in Japan, so it was still before they went to the plastic top and bottom caps like on the XT5.
hmm
But man, there's something special about the ZF, and people will bash it. Oh, I need an aperture dial. Okay, but I can turn my manual focus ring into an aperture dial if I want,
right.
But
It feels
Voigtlander
like
had,
it feels like a workhorse camera. Like it.
yep,
Oh, like anybody out there listening, like you just have to hold one and you'll get what we're saying.
yep, uh,
I like the tactile. That's why I gravitated towards Fuji so much because I like the tactile feel of messing with the dials
the
and
dials, yeah.
some of these modern cameras I feel like are too clinical. Like it feels like you're shooting with a computer almost, and I don't get that feeling with this.
No, that's the feeling I got with the XT5 and the 40 megapixel sensor.
Yeah.
It was just like the images didn't inspire me. It was just
Hmm.
I mean, they're good. Don't get me wrong. I love Fuji. I have downstairs, I have a big Fujifilm sign that is backlit. It was from my local camera shop when they moved. They were going to
Hmm.
get rid of it, so she kept it for me. Should have grabbed the Nikon one. Damn it. But I still have nothing but respect for the Fuji brand. I
Oh,
just
definitely.
there's something about the ZF that just I feel more comfortable. I feel at home. I love the way the images come out.
It has a soul to it.
It does. And especially,
I,
man,
I,
I shot it through an old 20 mil and 50 mil AFD lens.
mm,
And I mean, that lens already had those lenses have character anyway, but man, adding them to this new camera, everything
hmm
just flowed together. It was great.
I hear shooting Leica M glass on these produces some good images too.
Yep. But you could buy like 15 Nikon lenses for that
Yeah.
price.
I was at my job sent me to Adobe Max, the Adobe convention last fall. It was in Miami Beach.
Yep.
I spent half of the time on the vendor floor at the Fuji booth, like bothering the Fuji guys. 'Cause that was around the time I was looking to buy a new camera, so I was actually looking at the XH2S.
Yep.
Um,
I
like it
had
was, yeah, it was
I had the
between that.
XH2, so
Yeah. Well, I'm
that,
glad I made this choice.
me too. I don't regret it. I thought at first I might because I was so accustomed to the way of the Fuji.
Hmm.
Um, no, I've got zero regrets.
But I look at Nikon almost like like it's I consider it like a legacy photography brand. Like they've been around forever. The F mount's been around forever. There's literally like F mount lenses going back to like I think like the 1950s. So there's like tons of glass you could use with the Nikon system.
Yep, 100%. Larry, where's the best place for people to find you?
Instagram at Larry Everage. I always tell people to spell my name. It's like beverage without the B in front. So Everage. Or you can find me on Threads at the same name.
Okay. Um, any plans to do any type of YouTube work or anything in the future?
That's definitely something I've been thinking about. Like, I feel like I need to be like more outward facing, but I'm kind of like an introvert in a way, so I got to get out my shell, I guess, and because I feel like I do have like stuff to talk about. We've been talking for a while. I got lost track of time, so
Yeah, I mean we've been going steady for like over an hour,
right.
and it feels like 5 minutes, right? But I think the cool part is you have so much that you could share with people
Hmm.
because you have through your job, you have all these events you go to. You could do behind the scenes work, just hook up a little camera, right? And
Right.
then you could talk about that experience. Your interpreter with Method Man. I mean that you could talk about that forever,
Right.
or just Super Sundays, right? Like you could just talk about all these experiences.
Hmm.
And you could talk about what you used to capture it, what your thought process was. And I kind of feel like with the whole meta thing that's going on and people bailing from the platform, I feel like YouTube might, it's already good, but it might be the platform for creators who want to make a living from their work,
Hmm.
right? In Canada, we don't get monetized on any of the meta platforms.
Oh
So
wow.
we can't get monetized on Threads. We can't get monetized on Instagram. So YouTube is kind of the way.
That's funny when I think about it. I follow a lot of Canadian photographers on YouTube.
Yeah, there's a
I think
few of
like
us.
Ian McKinnon and
Yep.
Matthew. What's his name? Matthew. Starts
Uh,
with an A.
yeah, I can never pronounce it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I know who you mean.
You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
You should follow Taki. It's at Big Head Taco.
Oh yeah, I follow Big Ed Taco too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I met him for the first time on last Wednesday when I recorded with him.
Hmm.
But then I went and saw him at his event on Friday, and it was like, we're just like, felt like long lost friends. And then I don't know if you can see it up top there. Let's see if I can get this thing to go up. Oh, no, that's zoom in. Up top there in the little corner.
Oh
That's
wow.
that's his strap, the Big Head Taco strap.
Nice.
It's been fantastic. I feel like we could just keep shooting the shit for hours.
Right.
Um,
Might have to
but
do another part two on just hip hop and wrestling.
heck yeah, I'm down, man. Like, let's do it. Now that all the old WrestleManias and everything are on Netflix, I can
Mhm.
introduce my kids to all the wrestlers that actually mattered.
Yeah. Back when it was good. Yeah.
But man, it's great to finally sit down and meet you and call you a friend.
Definitely.
Once I get my project in the works and we have the papers and everything figured out, I will talk to you and we'll get something going in New Orleans.
Definitely. Oh, looking forward to that.
Awesome, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your day. I know you're a few hours ahead of me. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Life of Phys Podcast. I hope you've enjoyed our show, and don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us continue to bring you content and the stories of our incredible guests. And remember to stay connected with us on all social media platforms. It's at LIFE_OF_PHYS or on the internet at www.lifeofphys.com. Thank you for tuning in and have a great day.